You stayed.
Yeah, man. But have you ever smashed to your own?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's got to be crazy though.
Yeah.
That's
This
like
album for sure.
Really
Already off top.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So I heard that he was like, man, he was like, big. Matter of fact, once I sequence the whole album, I'm gonna tell you which ones you could. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying I already know the ones. You feel me? Like you and wife, you gonna go out. You feel me? Y'all gonna be put the album on, survive. You gonna be in it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta say nothing. All you gotta do is give her that look you always gave her.
He said you're gonna be in it.
Yeah,
hello. Big Boys Neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Welcome back to the neighborhood, Mario. Welcome back, bro. Hey man, you one of them dudes. You don't stop, huh?
Nah, man.
I heard that.
And when I do stop, it's I'm stopping for a reason, so I can reflect,
right? So
I can plan, so I can see where what I want to change. Any audibles?
Hey man, it's crazy how young you are. And how long you been in the business.
Likewise.
And how, man, but just your run.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, bro, like there's no expiration date when it's great. And I've had a chance to witness you, bro. Like your live shows, Mario, ridiculous.
Thank you, bro.
And they can stand up to any and everyone.
I think it's just raw energy. You know what I'm saying? I think it's something
there's a lot of talent in there too. Because I know some people
for
that
sure,
got raw
but that's
energy.
what I mean by that. It's
right.
Like that's something that this is where you fall in love with like R&B and artists you love is from raw talent. It's
right.
Like talent and its purest form is what I think I represent.
Yeah, man.
You know? And I feel like my fans and people who may forget or may, be like, well, it's until they feel it and experience it live, sometimes like, oh snap, like it's still what I felt when I first heard it.
Do you feel like R&B is in a different place? And when I say different place, I mean in a better place from years ago?
For sure.
Right.
1,000%.
How so?
I think there's a lot of there's been a lot of success in R&B. You look at Money Long, you look at, Usher's resurgence as a legend in the game and what he's done with, Vegas and coming back on tour and just breathing new breath into R&B.
Right.
I think every genre needs that, a few people to be staples for that. The women have been holding it down in R&B for the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Now I feel like it's both. But I think the conversation with this new project, Glad You Came, that I'm about to drop, the conversation I'm changing a little bit. I'm trying to connect people again.
Is Glad You Came, is that 2024 or 2025?
Hey, man, I'm giving it to you. Now it's 2024.
I heard that.
Yeah.
What does it feel like, man, with having such a vast catalog and then knowing that you going into something new? Yeah. Do you know how to get out of your own way and not be your biggest critic?
Sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes. But it's I just try to be as present as possible, Big. Really be present with the music, really be present with the fact that and allow myself to be renewed as a writer, as a singer. Also, my collaborations, I work with James Fauntleroy on his album.
God,
me and him wrote majority of the album together, and I feel like that was something new for me. Even though we've been around each other through our whole careers, we'd never gotten a chance to really formally work with each other. So
James is fish grease right now too.
Man, he's phenomenal.
James did Gaga and Bruno, right?
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, bro.
He's phenomenal.
And
His
James
storytelling
Fauntleroy, he can walk past you and you wouldn't even like those that know we know.
Call him Mr. Windchill.
That dude is
that's Mr. Windchill right there.
He is ridiculous, man. So I can't imagine what formula y'all put together.
Yeah, man. It's Glad You Came is a combination of all of my influences musically.
I can tell with spaces.
Yeah, space. Yep.
Space. I can tell with space that felt different.
Yeah, that's Michael and Marvin. That's shout out to the homie Benny X who produced that. Shout out to James, man.
Is that what
that record?
Is that what the album is too, man? Like music that you feel like you want to make?
Yeah, it's a mixture of what I've been inspired by, and also just this new wave that I'm on. So it's a mixture of everything, but it's still cohesive in the sense that I'm giving you lyricism, I'm giving you, metaphoric writing. I'm giving you all the things that you love about Mario. In a Mario project, this is what you're gonna get with this album for sure.
Is it scary or exciting when you go to dropping a new project?
Both.
Right.
I wouldn't say scary.
Right.
I think scary is a strong word. I think it's more just like I'm curious.
Gotcha.
Curious of the reception, curious of how I'm even going to feel when it actually comes time to perform the song, how I'm going to feel when it comes time to really make that connection and talk about what that experience is creating the album. Like I'm so in the moment right now. I'm living in it like as if it's my first album again, if you will, because I haven't put an album out since 2018. So just going into it with a new perspective, but the approach creatively has been way more hands-on and very introspective and very art form preservation intentionally.
Why
art
not
form preservation intentionally? Yeah.
Why since 2018? Why as far as like the body of music?
Yeah.
Why was there a so-called weight between the body of music? Because you stayed active.
Yeah.
But what
Putting out singles.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're creating a body of work, it's like you're creating a celestial body, right? If you were creating a planet, like there's so many elements you need to make sure that planet can live amongst the other planets and be on the right axis and be. So it's like kind of like that to me. You know, it's like all the stars have to align. It got to be the right combination of people. It has to feel right. It got to be the right structure when it comes to distribution for the album, especially when you're a legacy artist. I want to say legacy.
No, you can't.
Especially when you are
a legacy artist.
No, when you're an artist who's been in the game for over 20 years, it's
right.
like you know, the approach is a little bit different. It's a little more delicate. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just all those things.
Is it crazy when you say when you've been in the game for over 20 years, Mario?
Yeah.
Because those things feel fast and slow at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you, at some point, you hope and you pray that you can get 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, even some success.
Yeah.
But when you look at it now, you can say 20 years.
Yeah.
And
I think for an artist, though, it goes faster than people think because we're always living in the future and in the present, right? So it's like, it's just weird, like shifting of frequencies when it comes to push and universes when it comes
and we
to
want to sometimes
projects.
keep not just the future and the present. Sometimes we want to keep you in the past.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you know what? Rightfully so, because you're talking about timeless music.
Yeah.
So when something is timeless, it's going to continue to live in each generation. It's going to continue to live in the hearts and the minds of people forever. So you're going to, that's something you got to get used to as an artist.
What does it feel like when you say over 2 decades?
It feels like, okay, so I got 20 more in this thing.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though?
It feels like I got 20 more.
Because you got to think, man, it's like it's still so young and so much. And I'm telling you, man, it feels like there's been so many more deposits into Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like I say, man, when I see the music, how your voice stands up, when you do live shows, like it's undeniable, bro.
Big is saying this because we've done shows together outside of just the regular stuff. I've done some of your shows before,
man.
You
but
feel me? Like we did some
even
vibes,
just walking up
vibes.
and even just walking up and seeing you at I Love R&B.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then when I saw you on the cart, you were just wet, and I was like, man, this dude. You know what I'm saying? Because the music business and just we as people, Mario, we're real fickle. The music business is here today, gone tonight sometimes. Yeah. The audience, everybody got their arms crossed. It's just a different world right now. So when you can cut through that.
It's crazy you said that because that conversation, these are the conversations me and James have in the studio. Mm-hmm. Like, man, we got to bring the energy back to music. We got to bring the conversation. Everybody can't have the same conversation. And I feel like with space, it's like, even the other night I was at Keys and I'm like playing a record, I'm performing and I'm vibing. I'm like, damn, like the girls is dancing, guys is, in the vibe. Like, I'm like, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. Reconnect people again. I feel like my music is like, it's the type of music that make you think about how you want to feel when you're about to approach doing something, whether it's approaching a woman or going on a date. It make you think about, okay, how do I approach this in a way that they going to remember who I am? You know what I'm saying? I say, yo, when you go out and you trying to, meet somebody, like you gotta make first impressions, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta make her remember you. What you gonna do to make her remember you? Take her to the dance floor, go dance with her, chop it up with her. This that music that you could do that to. This is like that reconnecting. You know what I'm saying? Like stop being so shy. Don't be so. You ain't that hard. You like women, right?
Right.
You feel me? It's like you feel me. So it's that vibe.
Do you think about live performances, the dance floor? Do you think about all that when you go to create?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Glad You Came is It's an R&B album that feels like you're about to go. I'm preparing to go to stage. Like this is what I'm listening to when I'm about to go to stage.
Why
and,
the
like,
title?
Sing to women.
Glad You Came.
Wow. The title is a welcoming, right? The title is both a welcoming and also it's a me paying homage to my fans.
That's dope.
And people that's been people that's been on this journey with me. You know, it's like I'm glad y'all came, you know, because I've gone through this and that. It's a mixture of my failures in love, my ideas about love, my imagination when it comes to how to make love, and my successes in love. It's all of those things wrapped up into one, and it's like I'm just glad you came along for this experience.
Do you ever trip Mario off of what you said and the impact you made so young? You know what I'm saying? And look at it now and how that just like even my wife and I, right? We were just going through the just a catalog of stuff.
Yeah.
And we were literally looking at dates and saying, dude, he was 18. He was 20. He was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it wasn't like it was some child singing something. It was like it's one of them things and you look up and it's 10, 15, 20 years later and that music still holds to your soul though.
I think about where I was in my life as opposed to the content and the music that I was doing, you know, in relation to the music I was doing. What was happening in my life, what I didn't understand, what I didn't know actually was great because I was able to leave it all in the music. Like everything that I didn't understand about the business didn't distract me. I mean, the things that I didn't understand wasn't able to distract me
with the music.
With the music. And so when you're hearing the music, you're literally hearing a young kid that just loves to do what I was doing in my mother's living room. You know what I'm saying? What I was doing in church. What I just sing and be passionate and mean what I'm saying as much as I could at that age, singing about love. I ain't
Right.
19 years old. Let me love you. Would you?
Right.
Yeah. I became that guy that I was singing about 2-3 years later. So it's like, yeah, music is interesting, man. Having a gift is crazy because sometimes you're just a vessel for it. And that's okay too, you know. So now it's like both. Now I'm writing records that I actually can say that I've experienced.
Did
say
you
that I feel.
ever? And I know I'm pretty sure you don't fall out of love with music. But had you know when we talk about the music business, does the music business sometimes feel like I love the music, but I don't love the business?
Yeah, of course. You don't complain about it. You just understand that it is the business, right? Whatever it comes with, you know, the music makes it worth it. You know what I'm saying? The music business is just like any other business in America or in the world. You know, you don't get what you negotiate. I mean, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate.
Got you.
You know, you can't take a lot of things personal, which is hard for me because I'm a Virgo.
Right, same.
I take things.
Thank you for the birthday wish.
You understand? You understand? I take things. I don't take it personal. I take it. It's like truth is truth. I believe in the truth. So if someone's saying something that is like not true, that's when it's like I get involved and it could come off personal, not personal, but at the same time, sometimes you got to stand on who you are as a person. Ain't got nothing to do with being an artist. I'm a human first, right? Those are the type of things I'm like, you got to deal with, you know, as an artist. But the business side of it, man, you just got to really learn by trial and error and make sure that you set yourself up, you know, for ownership and 10 years down the road when you're happy with the deals that you made, those type of things.
Hey, man, with having like your first hit around 15 years of age, 14, 15 years of age, what do you learn from that age, or when you look back at that? Is that not a gift and a curse, but is that a lot for a 15-year-old to handle?
Yeah. But I think, like I said before, I think it was more about what was going on in my life at the time. That was more like, damn, like I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know who to trust. What was right, what was wrong. I just knew that I loved to sing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was tough, but it was a blessing, bro. Like,
is it a gift and a curse when it's that early?
For sure. It's a gift and a curse.
Really?
You like, especially coming from where I come from, it's like, okay, now lights, camera, action, everything turn on. You like, bro, this This is weird. You know what I'm saying? I'm not used to being in the spotlight. I'm a loner. I was always a loner when I was a kid, so it was new for me. It was new for me. I had to really understand, like, yo, this is a gift and a platform for you to, use your talent and expand and travel the world and make a relationship. I didn't understand that as a young.
And especially that young too, though, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't understand it.
And there's a lot of tuition into the school of experience that we got to pay. Because if somebody would have given me something at 15, bro, you got to crash the car so many times.
I'm just happy I didn't do it in the limelight.
Right.
A lot of things that I experienced that happened before I was signed.
Can you imagine if a lot of things at 15, you're 15. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine if social media was around at that time with how it's mean, it's difficult, it's different, and you super serving, however many followers you have that have an opinion on it, man. So it's a little different today, but you're still in the game too. For sure. So those rules still apply.
And I'm happy that it's like it's happening now. It's like, okay, I understand it now. It's like, okay, using these platforms and connecting with people, connecting with the fans, and being able to see reaction straight off the top, being able to really tell the story the way you want to tell it.
Gotcha.
It's different, and I love that. I love that part of social media because you can really get out. Like I went live when I put the record out and really spoke about the change in this project. And
know how to use it. You got to know how to use it, man. What would you tell 15-year-old Mario? If you could
that he's not alone. I would be like, yo, you're not alone. Trust your intuition, and it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take chances on people. It's okay to trust and get hurt. It's okay to be open. It's okay to, be open enough so that people can understand who you are. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's okay. It's okay. Everything cool.
Hey man,
tell them chill. Like ain't nobody out to hurt you. You feel me?
People think a lot of this comes with the business. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody says something crazy or something, people see like a money or a lifestyle, or they see a watch and they think they want that.
Right.
And they think, oh, well, he should take a picture. Whatever it is, it comes with the business. Right. All the negativity, the comment, it comes with the business. How do you keep yourself mentally strong too? Because it's a lot that goes on, bro. And we can send these representatives of, oh, I'm good, I'm okay, and all this stuff. But at some point, how do you just say,
well, I mean, I think it starts at home, bro. It starts with how you wake up in the morning. For me, I'm not always mentally stable.
Right.
I'm gonna lie.
Human being.
Yeah. But I just think about consequences and karma and how I make my decisions, and I also think about the bigger pictures that I'm not married to any of this, right? Like it's not who I am as on a soul level. This is a gift. It's a talent. It's a way to make a living, but it's also a way to express myself to the world in one form. Mm-hmm. But it's not who I am all the way.
Gotcha.
It's a part of who I am.
Yeah.
It's a part of my expression in the world, but it's not who I am. And so I separate that a lot, even though I work when I'm home a lot, and I'm like nonstop working on other things outside of music, business stuff. But as far as the image of Mario goes, it's not like it's not my identity personally.
Gotcha.
And that protects me.
What do you do away from Mario or music? What are you, a black belt or a sous chef or?
No,
got a bonsai tree garden in the back?
I got bonsai trees.
Yeah, like
man, a little bit of everything, man. Like I work out a lot, box.
Yeah, I can tell.
I work on other business projects, creative projects that are going to be really successful. Investing in different things, from tech to museums, things that I'm building. Like just allowing my creativity to create commerce.
How do you get away from it?
Like overall.
How do you get away from it? Like, do you have a place where you just like, man, I want to just shut off? You know what I'm saying?
I got my studio is my man cave, for real. Like I just go to the studio most of the time, and I go in there. I take my meetings. I take my calls. It's like my office. And outside of that, maybe just put my phone down. Put my phone down, chilling with my dogs, chilling with my shorty. Like,
I heard that.
Just, you feel me? Just being regular, just chilling,
relaxing.
Heard that.
Hey man,
but it's real. It's no real way to get away from it when you in it though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like now, there's no getting away from it. It's like we in it. So now I'm like, okay, planning for tour.
Hey man, I know I've smashed on your music.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know I have. Do you ever
This
smash to? Oh really? Oh man.
Glad you came.
That's a whole different meaning though. I'm gonna be like, baby, I'm glad you came. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, like
get it?
Hell yeah.
You gonna be glad. You gonna be even glad you stayed.
Yeah, man. But have you ever smashed to your own?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gotta be crazy though.
Yeah.
That's
This
like
album for sure.
Really though.
Already off top.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So I heard that he was like, man, he was like, big. Matter of fact, once I sequence the whole album, I'm gonna tell you which ones you could, you know what I'm saying?
I'm saying I already know the ones. You feel me? Like you and wifey gonna go out. You feel me? Y'all gonna be put the album on, survive. You gonna be in it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta say nothing. All you gotta do is give her that look you always gave her.
He said you're gonna be in it. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, the tour that's coming as well, man. Mary J. Blige, NeYo. I
man.
pocket dialed NeYo yesterday. And you know, and just like you, when I called you yesterday, you answered. You know what I'm saying? And I know you were so caught up with, you know, the Queen and you know,
I
didn't
was just
sleep.
waking up, man.
Yeah, man. And I did a little butt dial. You know what I'm saying to NeYo yesterday, and he did the same thing. He answered, and we had a chance to talk
How
about
does
the
that
tour.
feel to you? Like to be able to call people that you've been in.
Let me tell you, man. Still to this day, now this is year 30 for me.
Yeah.
Still to this day, man, it trips me out. And I know this is gonna sound crazy that I could get you on the phone. Like you answered. And I know that people were trying to call you yesterday. And you answered the phone like big bro.
You don't even want to call me.
Well, everybody else was lying there. And then, but you answered. You know what I'm saying? And it was and he didn't know that he was supposed to have been here, so you didn't even have to answer. You could have just looked and said,
"Stop, this big." She like, pick it up later. I'm like, no, babe.
She was like, we're on song 4.
Big on the phone. I'm like, yo, hello.
Hey man,
how's up?
But literally looking at the name, I still trip off of that.
Yeah.
And I still trip off of, even today with you coming into the neighborhood, right? I was like, man, it's crazy because I'm on your schedule.
Yeah.
Like last night before you go to sleep, you're like, oh, I got to get up and go see Big in the morning. That still trips me out.
That's crazy.
NeYo picking up the call, and he was in Australia, and we're talking about the tour. I'm like, man, how many people, not just braggadocious, but how many people want to be you to answer their phone call,
man,
or NeYo to pick up their phone call?
I got the same number for so long. There's so many calls that I've done. I'm like, damn, I should change my number.
Yeah,
like,
same.
You know, just people that phase out of your life and that, you know. But
I don't know how
I'm not
to, though.
changing my number. Bro.
I've had the
I'm
same
just not
number.
Gonna pick up the phone.
Yeah. There's somebody looking at
and
me
9
right
times
now.
out of 10, I really do be busy, so it's not like a shade. It's just,
Hey man, but no, the tour,
blessing.
we talked about the tour, and the tour starts in 2025.
2025.
And those
January.
are performers. Mary J. Blige, NeYo, Omarion. Those are performers and singers.
You're gonna feel every emotion. The crazy part about it, I watched Mary at Essence Festival, right? I've never been to a Mary show before. She's the only female artist that I've ever gone to her show and actually felt guilty about what I've done to women in the past.
Wow.
In terms of relationships.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, I really felt like, damn, like, I felt something. Like, Mary make you feel like, yo, you just want to go and text and say, I'm sorry to all the girls you ever hurt. Like,
and I've seen Mary a few times.
You know what I'm saying?
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
But the show, I feel like you're gonna get every emotion. You know, it's gonna be a fun show. You know, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna dance, you might cry, you're gonna feel sexy. Yeah, it's gonna be a vibe, man. I can't wait.
Hey man, that's got to be like
for
a
my fans tour.
Perfect tour for you as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's great for this album because it's such a real R&B album. So if you love R&B, like this definitely the tour and it's definitely the album for you.
Yeah, man, and you guys.
And then
are
I go to
doing
Europe
dates.
after that. Yeah, we got like 40-something dates.
Hey man, it's crazy when you say I go to Europe after that.
Yeah,
because you got to be so right now, but you also got to be 6 months ahead of yourself.
That's
8 months.
a year.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because I'm planning things already for the end the next year. Like, but this is the blessing, and this is like the privilege of experience. Is being able to plan ahead. You know, most people on social media plan ahead too. Like, you know, I gotta plan my social media content for the next 2 weeks.
Right.
Planning ahead is the only way to win in this game. It's the only way, because if you don't, there's so many different moving parts of it that if you wait, you're not gonna get the performance you want out of yourself. So you're gonna prepare yourself mentally, physically, like, you know.
Is that
the gym regimen goes up, everything changes before you go on tour. Mentally, spiritually, everything, because now you're doing meet and greet shit. around people, you're dealing with hundreds of people a day, crews, the stress of, this might change. Oh, tonight we might not have this lighting. It's like a lot of things, because at the end of the day, as an artist, you still got to show up, right?
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
Is it difficult? Not difficult, but is it crazy that there's so many moving pieces, right?
Yeah.
But you're on the marquee. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And not in no bragging way, but it's like whatever it is, you gotta be there.
Gotta be there.
And then you gotta think, man, like you probably think about things that we don't think about. Like, man, am I in a room of smoke? Do I cover my, because you sing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so do you have to be extra careful knowing like, man, I gotta protect this instrument.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah. And it's gotten more serious over the years as I understand now all of the elements and what it, like, I look at everything, even in my personal life. When I wake up in the morning, it's this mental and physical thing that I do in myself. It's like a battery meter. I look at it like an energy meter. And I'm like, okay, if I got 3 hours of sleep last night, I know that my battery is here. But I know what I need to do to keep my battery up. Right? So I know myself. Like, as an artist, it's really about learning yourself and the output of energy, and frequency, like how much you have to give to people.
But you got to pay attention to that.
You got to study yourself. The only way to be great is to study yourself in every way, spiritually, if you're trying to be great.
Right.
There's a level to it. And it's the reason why people like Usher, people like Michael, and all of the other greats, CB, like people that do astronomical things, and you're like, damn, how the hell do they do that? It's because of how well they understand themselves, for better or for worse.
Can you see other people, without saying any names and throwing shade, but can you see others and say, I know what you're doing wrong, or this could be better for you, or focus, or whatever it is, or you don't pay attention?
It's both.
Right.
I think we all can, if you have a certain level of experience, it's like if you watch another person on radio and you're like, you're looking at the team, how they do things, what they do differently. You're like, if he did that, that might work better for, but yeah, of course I can.
Do you know when you get on, like if you're doing a multiple,
and I've had these conversations with certain, like,
that you could talk to, like, hey, bro.
Man, we do it with each other. It's like, bro, it's like, it's iron sharpens iron.
Yes, sir.
If you have that relationship with somebody, but sometimes the ego gets in the way. You can't really have conversations, right?
Have you ever looked at like the lineup of a show and you just know, I'm gonna.
Yes.
Like, you got to be looking at a lineup sometime. Be like, man, is this really the lineup? This is what y'all want to do?
Vocally, yeah, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
But I've also looked at lineups and I'm like, okay, this might be okay. This one be some shit. You know what I'm saying? But, for sure. I mean, it's definitely that. I definitely looked at lineups before.
There's a different confidence that you have in what you know how to do because of the deposits and because of how serious you take it, though.
Definitely that, and also just the creating of the experience. At some point, you stop thinking about that and you start more so thinking about you and the audience. Mm-hmm. Just you.
Can you see the audience?
And the fans. Sometimes, depending on how bright the lights are. But then sometimes you just you bilocate and you just in like a whole other realm while you perform it. It's happened to me plenty of times where I left my body like while I'm performing and like come back. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but if anybody astral projected out there, it's like that but on a smaller level. It's
like where the time went to?
Yeah, like you just literally like, you know how you become the everything in the moment. It's like you're not you're everything in one moment and everything just feels connected.
And do you ever trip off?
You pop back in your body and you're just like, yo, what was that? That was crazy. That's when that's when I think that you're like really in it. You so aligned with the energy that you're not thinking about what you're gonna do. You're just living in it.
Did it ever get like kind of dark to you where you felt like the audience or radio, whatever, like something, whatever the energy was, they weren't paying attention to Mario?
What do you mean?
Like just when you feel like right now, everything, there's the shows, the album. Yeah. Did you ever get to a point where you was like, man, I'm not on radio or I'm not as, they're not taking my calls the way that they did. And then also with certain venues and artists and the genre, things got a little smaller. It felt like we're starting to see that now. just with ticket sales and certain things that's happening with people's attention.
Not for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not dark to me. I've seen dark. That ain't dark. But I
that
think
was powerful, bro.
Yeah, that's not dark. But I would say that's more of like a ego thing, as managing your, because it's like it's all smoke and mirrors. The talent is real. The experience is a mixture of realness and smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it only take one time. You only have to be right once or twice to change the trajectory of your whole life.
Yeah, man.
So the key to life, and this is for anybody out there who feels like they don't have enough, or they're too old, or they're too young, or they're too anything. You're not too nothing. Just keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Enjoy the process. Learn as you go.
Right.
Don't feel like you have to do everything in one day, 1 week. Nothing is built overnight. Nothing is built over a day. Everything is built over time.
Is there
and time? Hold on.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No worries.
And time itself is an illusion in some ways when it comes to how things manifest. Because if you believe, you'd be surprised that you just putting yourself in a place and preparing for what you want, it'll come 10 times faster. A lot of times we're not prepared. We may be working towards something, but we're not necessarily prepared to receive what we're asking for. And that's when it's like you gotta become it, feel it, moving like you have it already, preparing yourself for it before you can receive it. And I truly believe that. And it's like, it's the same thing we talk about tour, right? If I'm not working towards the ideas or working on my show or working on my lineup or working on my stuff ahead of time and already knowing how it feels to do this in real time, then I won't be in the mindset to create what I'm trying to give as an experience. You have to be there already. You have to arrive there already mentally and all of that.
With you so many years in the business, man, do you, like even with going out with Mary J. Blige and NeYo,
yeah,
do you work as hard knowing that, like, man, I've been here, all I got to do is add this, you know what I'm saying? Like, or do you go in full like, oh, nah, No,
you got to go in. You got to work hard because one is a new album and the experience of Glad You Came is so important to me. I want to live up to that feeling and that intention when I say you're going to be glad you came. It's like, even though this is Mary's tour and I'm a part of it as a support but also in my own zone in this album, it has to still feel like a moment that I'm proud of, because then the story continues. The legacy continues. The singles that are on this album continue. So all these things that are a part of this experience, every part of it is just as important as the part before and the part that's gonna come after everything. I think when people hear the album beyond just Space and the other singles I'm releasing, they'll understand it's like this is definitely a new era of Mario.
Is there a song, Mario, that got away from you, or you listen to something and say, man, I wish I recorded that one?
Like that somebody else has?
Yes.
That got away from me? No.
Not got away, but you're like, man, I wish I did that one.
Lately?
Lately is hard.
Just hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. I haven't heard anything. I'm like, damn, I wish that was my record.
Man, I remember years ago I asked Lionel Richie that question. I said, man, is there a song that and Lionel Richie done some beautiful songs. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I said, is there a song that you wish you recorded that wasn't yours? And he was like, man, he said, R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he said, I felt like God was flying over and he beamed it to, R. Kelly's house. He missed my house.
That's one of the ones. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think, if I'm going back, man, I would say Nice and Slow, Usher.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why can I see you doing that?
Would be crazy. because I could do anything vocally, big. I'm him.
Yeah. Yeah. On the real though, man.
Yeah.
Because we were sitting in here one day
I mean,
and we
Usher.
were saying, man, I would love to hear him do this. But you got such a catalog that you don't have to
that record specifically, I feel like is great for him. I'm just saying.
Right.
That one, what's the other joint? I just like the guitar on that joint. It's just like it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? What other records? Heat, CB. Heat's crazy. Like for like new age R&B with like a mixture of hip hop. Like I feel like that record was just like it was like the pocket of it was so hard and crazy, and the way they was sliding on that joint was crazy. Like that was fire.
Man, there was a comment that NeYo said about Just a Friend.
Yeah.
What was the comment? It was I know I had it somewhere, bro.
I don't know, I missed that one.
Right. Hold on. I'll find it. Oh, he said NeYo once admitted, I remember when I wrote that song, and this is about Let Me Love You. Oh, okay. Yeah, and he said I did not think Mario was going to be able to pull it off, referring to Let Me Love You.
You trying to start some shit?
No, not at all.
look.
Not at all. But you got to think though.
He trying to get Rio to come out.
Because I think for real, I think that's one of them things. Because you got to figure when you get Let Me Love You.
Yeah, I think that.
And it wasn't. I don't think it was vocally, but you're 17, 18, probably 19 when it popped. Like
exactly, man. I think that at the time, NeYo's obviously more mature than I am, but like at the time, in terms of age and like at that time he had matured as a writer way more than I had, because he was coming in as a writer. So I think that he was thinking from an A&R writer standpoint of like, yeah, I like this record, but I don't know if it's for him. Because if you listen to that album, the Turning Point album, that was one of the more mature records on the album. You feel me?
Yes, bro.
A lot of the records I was writing was like Call the Cops with EST.
Right.
Call the Cops. And I was down there having fun with Scott Storch. So it was like when Let Me Love You came, it was like completely different from anything. However, it was needed because of where R&B was, and it helped to redefine where we were in R&B.
Isn't it crazy the title though of the album?
Yeah. Turning Point.
Yeah, and that was like a turning point, because when you look at that and when you hear that, it's like you instantly grew up in front of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then it's like this, not even an introduction, but it's like an introduction to Mario the man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The young man. Yeah, it was definitely a more mature conversation compared to the album before. I was 15 before that. Yeah. But it was also like, okay, it's like every group, like no matter how old, what age you are, when you hear Let Me Love You, it resonates. And that's the beauty of the record. Like that record is just like,
do you still enjoy performing it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've never performed and be like, I'm tired of performing. I don't feel like that about none of my songs, honestly. None of them.
Do you know what's going to like, because you already know how to sequence your show. Do you know like what's going to like, oh, this going to kill them?
I mean, the hits, of course. Right. And I think like certain moments, like if I pull a girl on stage, I know like, okay, it's like I'm going to cut the music off and I'm going to just sing a cappella. And I'm going to just, it's like those moments that people don't get often in R&B. Those are the ones I feel like are special that like stand out.
Hey, man, and I don't know how, and this isn't my being disrespectful to anyone.
Yeah.
But I just want to have this conversation. When you and Omarion, when y'all did Versuz, right? When it's one thing when you see someone that got like a performance.
Yeah.
And then when your vocals was like, man, I came here. I don't know how to say this without, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
there was nothing that could be done that could stop what your voice was doing.
Going on?
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, was that the intention? Do you think that there was an intention to stop it? Because I just feel like it goes back to like, bro, raw talent is something that that's what people fall in love with you for. You gotta be. I think that was an unfair Versuz, to be honest.
How so?
Because Versuz wasn't built for live performances like what O is trying to do.
Right.
It was built for it's just you, the mic, and the people. So it's like, you know, it probably would have needed to be somebody more vocal, but at the same time, it's like who vocally in our era at that time was really, it wasn't really about vocals. It was about the performance and this and that and the smoke and mirrors, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because on the audio,
people wanted it. So.
You could literally like close your eyes, or you could put it on away from the house without looking at it,
and then listen to
and just listen to what you did vocally. Yeah, that I was like, oh my God, this is outstanding, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, your voice is ridiculous.
Appreciate you, bro.
And you know what your shows do too, bro.
Thank you.
And there's this thing. She said, yeah. And there's just this thing. It's got to be this different kind of confidence that goes on out there too, though, man. You gotta have some kind of confidence.
Yeah.
In what you do, and that's a lot. Like I said, that's a lot of deposits too.
Yeah, it's just again, bro. It just goes back to the music, the songs, what's not happening in R&B. You know what I'm saying? It's like what I just want to give you what's not happening. Even with this album, I want to give you what you haven't felt from me, but also from R&B, like the separation, you know, but also just the paying homage to the genre, bro, by being just that. You know, I've been doing a lot of features that were just for fun and just like having fun with it. But the last feature I did was I was a little bit still in my toxic wave a little bit. This album is like I'm not in there. It's like it's more creatively. It's not toxic, but it's honest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's honest.
Right.
It's honest and it's imaginative in a lot of ways. And so just going back to what the roots of R&B is. It's like R&B just gives you hope and gives you, you know, it gives you a playbook when it comes to emotions. Mm-hmm. That's what we're doing.
What do you do away from R&B? Yeah. Like, are there any other artists or any genres that you do check out that you're like, man, I can F with this? Or do you go straight into mode when you're like, I'm working, I'm not listening to nothing?
Oh, you mean listen while I'm working on the album? What I'm listening to? I like different. Like I like Teddy Swims. I think he's fire, man. I think Teddy Swims is a beast. I like his approach to sing his music. You really can't categorize him either, so he's dope. But I listen to everything. You know, I listen to country. I listen to R&B. I listen to hip hop. I listen to alternative music. I listen to just tones and music alone. But a lot of times I don't listen to anything, which is the crazy part. Like I don't listen to a lot of music when I'm writing music. I'm listening for something new based upon, okay, we go in the studio and when me and James started working on Glad You Came. I got a song on the album called Glad You Came. When we started working on that, this was just like us listening to different tones and sounds and coming up with ways to approach writing, you know? When I stated in the studio, I'm like, yo, we just had, at the time, he just had like the kick and he had like one other sound in the track. And I was like, yo, can we get a crowd sound and put it in the song? Like, but like make it pan from back and forth throughout the whole song. And we're gonna make this song about me having a moment with a woman and me telling her she's gonna be glad she came. You know? And it's just like kind of like you can take it both ways, right?
Right, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just like to me it's just imagination.
And
like when I create, I don't it's just like I'm going off of it, whatever I'm feeling in the moment.
Is that wave moving from the crowd? Is it going sonically side to side?
Yeah, it's very settled.
Hey man, that's what I love about certain music too, bro. Because it was 8 of us in the household growing up, man, so I always been a child of headphones.
Okay,
and I always like music. We went through bouts of homelessness and everything. Yeah, there was a lot of things we didn't have, man. But we were fluent on love. I love you, I love you, I love you as a family, and I always had music.
That's fine.
And bro, I would sit and music took me everywhere. I studied it. I looked at grooves on a record.
That's crazy.
I looked when you see that little acetate right there, and they would write messages in that. Like, I love music, bro. I love even before now. You know, now you can go on and you could go on, Apple Music, and sometimes the lyrics are all wrong too. But you can go on Apple Music, and the lyrics are right there.
That's so crazy you said that. Because yesterday they're like, "Yo, can you send us all the lyrics for the music?" And I'm like sitting and I'm writing it, because sometimes when I create, I just keep moving. I just create, and then I'll come back. But like, I don't really write lyrics down. Like when when I'm in the studio. I'm just going bar for bar. Like I'll sing the melody first. I don't write lyrics down. So I don't write my lyrics out until they ask me for them.
So when you're recording a song, there's no lyrics in front of you?
None. There's none. Me and James was going back and forth.
Not just on Glad You Came, but like
the whole album.
This been things before too?
Yeah, like on previous albums, previous EPs. But if somebody write a song for me, I'll ask for the lyrics because 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna change some things around.
But in your head, like if you do Glad You Came as an album, when you're in the studio, it's just in your head, you know where you want to go with
I don't write nothing down. I don't write nothing down. I'm gonna sing a melody. We're gonna make the track, and I'm gonna sing a melody that it might have a lyric here, a lyric there.
So it's like,
it's just like when I did Space, it was just like, time to switch up the mood. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, dude,
like,
that sound better than a lot of shit that's out right now.
Yeah. And just turn up in the entire door. Got this out of this issue. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be like, yo, play that back. I got it. I know we've been here before. Time to switch up the mood. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
that's amazing, bro. Hey, dude, I would have bought I would have bought that one. Hey, man,
I might do an album just with melody.
Hey, bro, remember when Kanye did this? This is what was that? So boopity boop. You know what I'm saying? People like, oh, you got the boopity boop. Yeah.
So
hey, dude, when you were doing that, we were all
music,
like,
is lyrics or melody more important to you?
Oh man, that's a hard one, bro. That you know what? It
depends. As a listener,
it depends because. For one, lyrics to me are a mother effort. Like it depends on what somebody's saying.
Right.
But that melody as well, because I can listen to a song that's not even in English.
Right. And still feel
and there's just like this.
And that's probably how fans feel overseas that don't speak English.
Boom.
Like they probably like
the
melody can make you
tap into something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even if you just start making up your own words, it's this melody that just feel like you're on a cloud.
Yeah.
And you just floating with that. And when you got good music that does that to you, bro, like it's like I'm in love with music, bro. And I think like my wife even told me sometimes, she was like, baby, and not in a bad way, but you ruined that for me.
Oh, come on.
You know why? Because I can hear when somebody don't have a clean punch in.
Okay.
You know, and even with videos or movies, I'm like, the continuity's off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This collar was like this.
So
and
you,
this one.
You low key do you see yourself transitioning from radio into doing like more creative stuff behind the scenes?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything, bro. Okay. Because I'll even look at a show.
Yeah.
And I can see if somebody's standing on the side, I'm like, dude, they need to get that person off the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or in our genre, when you'll see somebody in hip hop and it's like, man, you got too many people on the stage. That's why when somebody know how to watch it from the audience and know what you're giving someone, it's a whole different thing, man.
Yeah,
I can tell when people are mailing it in. And
everything should be considered for sure.
Yeah,
when
man.
You're creating something that's an experience or something that's gonna be around forever.
Yeah,
everything should be considered. But yeah, melody to me is first. I think if I wrote lyrics down, it would be distracting because I don't want to be married to nothing. It's like. I'm going off of how I feel. So I might do a whole song and then listen to it back and be like, yo, go back to the second verse, the second line. Let me change that line to this. Because I'm looking at it like a conversation. You don't write what you're going to say to a girl before you say it.
Right.
Like, you don't write it down. You just like, you go off the cusp. You go off of what you feel. You go off of the connection. You go, and that's how I look at music.
Hey, man, have you ever really listened to Michael Jackson's Lady in My Life?
She's out of my life.
She's out of my life.
Crazy.
Lady,
I got a song that I did.
Lady in my so listen to my heart, lay your body close to mine. Like what he does with like the voice is an instrument, and that's what I tell people with Kendrick too. Kendrick know how to use his voice,
bro,
as an instrument.
It's crazy,
and it's just different, bro.
But that's why he one of the greats about his generation for sure.
Yeah, man,
for sure. And that's what the thoroughbreds in this shit are all the ones that you can look at and put in that category of like understanding the science of what their talent is. The feeling that you get is just different from the other feelings that you get from people when you hear their music. And I think that's something to be proud of. If you are the chosen one like that, protect it. You know, fight for it. You know, fight for people to hear it. Fight to stay true to that, because that's what we call. Me and James have this conversation all the time: preserving the art form. Our job is to preserve the art form. It's not to be that always gonna seem like it's the coolest or seem like, oh, it don't sound like nothing else. You ain't supposed to. You supposed to be a staple, you know, a pillar for your genre, you know. And so that's the beauty in it for me. I love the fact that I'm able to be one of those, and I'm saying that because I feel like when I listen to music and I listen to what's out there, like I feel the difference in what I'm creating from, and I'm humbly saying that, right, in a way, but I'm also saying it because I'm here to protect the art form.
Gotcha.
You feel me? Though I might veer off and do other vibes that's like, okay, more mainstream, like even my other single main one, like just nostalgic, you know, features, but the song might sound a little bit, you know, like what's going on today. But sometimes it's okay to tap in, but when it comes to album, I'm gonna always get back to the root, because you asked me a question earlier. You was like, yo, how do you stay in your pocket? How you stay true, right? The reason why it's so important for you to stay authentic is because in a world where you're going to be thrown so many things and have to shape shift in order to have success, if you don't have a little bit of your truth still close to you, how you going to know how to get back home? You know what I'm saying? That's your lighthouse. And so that's how I look at it. I'm like, okay, I got to keep some of that, because if you lose that on any level, then what's your lighthouse? Ain't nobody around you going to be your lighthouse. They can't, because they got to be a lighthouse for themselves. And if you're an artist, you have to have a lighthouse. If you don't have a lighthouse, you can get lost real easily.
Man, and it's crazy that you, and not that you would say it, because it is true. You know what I'm saying? And you got to know how, but even when you do, if somebody do veer, that's life too, though.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm
sure.
saying? Like
100%.
a day you probably feel turned as a second, and
sure.
all in the same
but
day.
You can still veer and put yourself in it. It's like, you said Kendrick. So you said Kendrick. Kendrick would like, they not like us, for example, right? Although that record, what the intention behind it was to be a response to another rapper, right? He still put him in there. So it made it too authentic. Like it made it so, it hit so hard because he's still putting his approach to how he rapping, and he's still giving you some history. He's giving you bars. He's giving you everything. And that's what I think it takes in order to merge gaps. So you can veer off, but his lighthouse was still there.
Yeah. And you gotta not experiment, but you gotta, that's life. There's some days in the same day you feel turned up, you feel down. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a great body of music too.
Facts. There's a reason why when you renovate something that is worth more. Right? So when you take everything that you've done and everything that you are and you just refine it. You know, I was watching an interview yesterday, and Will.i.am was talking about this guy who took his one invention and just keep taking it, the same thing he did, and just reinventing it. Instead of feeling like, oh, that's not working. Sometimes, like he said, you just reinvent what's already there, and you do it better.
We say it a lot, man. You know, because 30 years ago, I didn't know what I was going to do in radio.
Wow.
I was like, man, if I get, for one, my first deal was like 1 day. And then it went into 2 days. Then it gave me a year. And I was like, man, if I could just get a year out of this, I'm straight. But yeah, that's the word that we use all the time, bro.
Yeah.
Is you got to reinvent. You got to reinvent. You got to stay, you got to stay open. You got to stay relevant. You got to listen to the right people.
Or merge, right? You take two concepts that haven't been merged together before, merge them. You have something new now.
Listen,
all of the information.
Wait, hold on,
out
man.
There.
You said marriage, right?
Yeah.
Why you say No, just yeah. I'm just, he know why, because this dude won't get married. But anyway, we'll wait for the album to come. We'll wait for Glad You Came to come and see where you at with it. Believe that. Y'all stick around, y'all radios. We got Mario in the neighborhood, Big Boy's neighborhood.